Your first kiss. Your first job.
Working hard or hardly working?
Oh, did you watch any good shows last weekend? Your first car. Brrr, beep, beep. Get the fuck... You move out of the left lane if you're going 50 miles an hour. Your first Duvel? Duvel?
Gulp, gulp, gulp.
Some memories are kept vividly alive. Why? Because nothing since has ever surpassed them. So go ahead, enjoy a Duvel while you reminisce. Or enjoy your first Duvel and be prepared to go to another magic moment. What? Oh, be prepared to add another magic moment to your memory bank. So that's one of the copies. Are we going to really do the thing where we read all the copies to try to finish this?
Well, we got a
cold
4-pack, and we got 3 different bottle backs.
All right, I'll do a spooky, scary one next.
To finish with that one, I got a different one.
Well, no, we're already going.
Creating a totally new beer style is a lot like rocket science. Duvel, that's what it is. Once Duvel boldly went where no brewery had gone before, we, meaning Duvel, invented a totally new category of Belgian beer, the Belgian Golden Ale. It took years, lots of know-how, and zero fear of the unknown. Today, you can celebrate our, meaning Duvel, out-of-this-world achievement in the comfort of your own home. Celebrating innovation since 1871.
How is there that much on there? All right, well, I'll do the third one. And we're going to pick and edit this, right? We certainly won't just air this live.
We'll edit.
All right, I'll do a Halloween, like, spooky, scary one then. A heavenly pour for a devil of a beer. Did divine inspiration lead Jean-Leonard Moutgat to invent his brewery in 1871? Or was it the little devil on his shoulder? It's impossible to know. But we do know, meaning Duvel, that a beer with this heritage deserves a righteous pour. Remember that frothiness is next to godliness. Celebrating inspiration since 1871. That's right. Today on the show, on a special Halloween spooky scary edition of Cold Cans, we're enjoying Duvel. Cheers.
My controls are not working.
Uh-oh. We're having a mishap?
I'm going to fix it in post.
No, you won't. Oh God.
Oh.
Oh, my God.
But that's the thing. I could have faded that out in post and no one would have ever known.
Well, now you can again. Just cut all this, too.
No.
You know? All right, I'm going to try Duvel for the first time.
Yeah, this is our first time, and this is considered a world-class beer.
All right, here we go.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, that's a fine beer.
It's good.
Yeah. Do you like Belgian-style beers?
I think I've typically liked them because they're high ABV, so it gets to the point quicker without having to guzzle a bunch of beers, you know?
Gets to the point quicker. Yeah, this is 8.5% ABV and is nonetheless retains the taste of a Belgian golden ale. So it isn't, you know, a strong flavor profile, at least for my first drink. It's not like something where I'm like, oh, that's got weight to it.
Right. That's whiskey. Like, no, it's not like that. It is pretty smooth drinking. And this bottle claims that they invented that style, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's delicious. That second sip was even better.
Nice. We did read that they invented a special tulip glass to drink this out of.
Right.
But we obviously don't have access to those, so it's possible there's a better way to drink this, and you get even more enjoyment out of it.
Yeah, but we're just drinking straight out of the tap, baby, because this is what...
In the comfort of our own homes.
Right. This is what QFC had in stock, and they didn't provide the tulip bottle to us.
That's good.
Yeah, I always kind of like, when I don't know what to expect, to take a first drink, and then I'm supposed to kind of get... We often do that on this show, and then we give our initial impression, and I never know what to do or say. I need that second drink to have that first baseline. And I really liked the second drink quite a bit better than the first one. Sometimes it goes the other way.
Now, why do you think that is, Joe? Why do you need 2 drinks to tell us how you feel?
I need a baseline. I need to understand, like, sometimes there's a shock to the system. I have no idea what it's going to taste like. So sometimes it goes the other way. I drink a drink, and I'm like, that's good. And then I drink, like, 3 more, and I'm like, This is dog shit. I don't
Hmm.
like it. That was kind of like that Oktoberfest one we had last week on the show.
You drank 3 more of those?
No, 3 more drinks.
3
I mean.
more sips. Okay.
3 more sips.
Gotcha.
Follow me, Nick.
I just can't quite keep up.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Cool.
What do you want to talk about today?
I think we summed it up pretty well. Hit that music.
Oh, whoops.
Well, we could talk about.
You said it's going to be a spooky, scary episode.
Did we pick that in the cold open? We did 3 cold opens. You were talking about how we're creatively bankrupt and are now just reading the backs of
The
each
can
of these
copy.
bottles. Yeah. Let's get into something then. What kind of? Let's just start listing off topics.
Okay.
Politics.
The economy.
The economy. I like when it's good. Sports. Aaron Jones is maybe he'll be out this weekend. That's a shame.
Really?
Yeah, for the Green Bay Packers.
What happened to him?
He's had a tight hamstring in the last practice.
Dang.
Yeah.
It's too bad. A.J. Dillon getting some run, huh?
Yep.
Packers corner.
Packers. Yeah. Well, we haven't done that in a long time. Should we
Yeah,
check
we
in
haven't
on our
talked
taste?
Pack.
What's your temperature in the Packers? They're 4-1. They just lost to the Buccaneers.
Right.
Did that discourage you? Is that about what you expected?
No, I think it happens every season, right? Even the great teams have a week where they just completely lay an egg.
Right.
So last week doesn't concern me that much. I also think Tampa Bay is a really good team. Yeah, I think they're fine.
Yeah. I know a lot of people were down on them before the year because of
Right.
fucking the draft and everything, but it was a good team last year, and they're a good team this year. It's fun to watch, and it's a good distraction during COVID. Yeah. You don't hear any of that in these stadiums because these fucking governors won't let us open up. We're a week away from Halloween. Are we doing anything this year? Now, listeners would know that you have a annual Halloween party, but COVID has thrown a wrench into that. Truly the scariest thing that could possibly happen.
Yep. It initially was just going to rule out the bobbing for apples segment of the party, but
Should
no,
have been
I
ruled
don't
out to begin with.
No. I don't think I'm going to do anything. There's just no point in risking it.
Yeah, shouldn't risk it.
And some friends usually boycott the party anyway and refuse to show up.
I was on a
so-
work trip.
Oh, okay.
You conveniently scheduled it when I had my work trip. You scheduled it after Halloween. You guys had your Halloween party
Halloween was
after
on a
Halloween.
weird time last year.
Then you do before Halloween.
I was in New
Unbelievable.
York, though, the weekend before.
Oh, yeah.
Have you heard of New York City, Joe? The concrete jungle?
Well, I was in Orlando. Have you heard of Orlando City? The city of dreams, truly.
Oh.
I don't know. What would we be as Halloween? Like, it feels weird, the idea of dressing up for Halloween in a year like this. This year is all
Right.
fucked. Like, I feel like I don't want to do that
I
until
think that's
we're...
part of the reason, to not do the party, too. Because obviously, once all this is over, there's going to be parties like no one has ever seen. There's going to be
Right.
orgies everywhere.
Right.
A bacchanalia of sorts.
So back to normal for us.
Yes. No, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Once it
yeah.
is finally safe to like get in people's faces again, and
Beat
all
the
those
hell out of
other
someone.
orifices, and and beat the hell out of somebody.
Do you
It's gonna be great.
do you think STDs will
Come back.
go on the rise after everything is kind of past us and we can all go out again?
No, STDs are just like COVID. If it doesn't have another host to go to, it dies.
It dies off.
Yeah.
In all cases.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
that's
why I
good
haven't
to know.
gotten any treatment. No, probably, right?
Yeah,
'Cause
I would think
it
so.
had been going up among teens or something, but then since COVID, it's like really dropped off because
Right.
no one's really, or not many people are seeing each other these days.
No, promiscuous people are fucked right now. Well, they're not. They're just kind of sitting around. So
Right.
I wonder what other kind of strange. I think we brought this up in the show before, but what other weird, unintended side effects are going to happen when we go back to normal? Like what's gonna change? I think you're right though. I don't think, at least in the short term, anything's gonna like fundamentally change from people's behavior. People are gonna go nuts. Everybody's gonna
Yeah,
have a
it'll
lot
be
of fun.
great.
But that kind of assumes that there'll just be this off switch, and it's like
No, I know.
next Tuesday it's done, and then we all could like party and stuff.
I know.
It's
And that's
unfortunately
not
gonna be
how
a
it'll
slow
happen.
burn, yeah,
Right.
and an adjustment period. But Halloween, feels a little disingenuous to be like,
Right.
no, everything's fine. Let's do Halloween. But then again, on the other side of the coin, people said that about sports, and sports are a lovely distraction during all this. So I think we need some of
Yeah.
that. If we can do it
I mean, of
safely.
course, those don't require you to be in the same place as someone else to enjoy them necessarily, like a party would. But
Right.
because I don't want to do a Zoom party type deal, that sounds like a nightmare.
That is, yeah, in a bad way, not a fun Halloween
Right,
nightmare,
right.
an actual nightmare. Yeah, I'm sure everybody's feeling Zoom fatigue, but my
Mhm.
God, it's part of me thought, okay, we're all gonna do Zoom stuff, and we'll be bad at it, and that's why we're fatigued. We're talking over each other,
Mm.
whatever. It's hard to get a cadence, and then we'll get better at it, and then we'll just be like okay with doing Zoom stuff. No, it's fucking gone the other way. Like I feel like right away it was kind of novel. It was like, oh yeah, there's my friends on Zoom. That's cool. And now it's like everyone just hates it. Like I think fundamentally that kind of communication is just rotten. And
Yeah,
we
when
dressed
it's,
it up.
when it's all you have, or if it's 90% of what you have.
Right. We're also done with it.
Right.
Yeah, I think people will be thrilled to never join a fucking Zoom call again, besides for work or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
COVID.
COVID,
I don't-
you know?
I don't
COVID
think-
corner.
COVID corner. Yeah, that it's depressing because it obviously affects every aspect of our lives. Like I've talked about before, not being able to go home for the holidays anymore.
Right.
Haven't seen my family since January and stuff. And I do understand that there are safe ways that it can be done, but in some ways it does introduce some risk that is probably unnecessary.
Sure. Your family, and you usually you go home and you and your family bob for apples.
Right.
Not going to be able to do that
Right.
anymore. And that's a shame. There's probably safe ways you can bob for apples too. You could put
Put a plastic bag over your head before you
right,
dunk it in.
right, kind of a dental dam bobbing
Mm.
for apples. Or you could the water isn't just water. You could put a bunch of hand sanitizer
Bleach.
in it and bleach.
Sure.
In it. Yeah.
Hand sandy would be too viscous. That'd
Oh.
be cheating.
Oh yeah,
'Cause
it'd
a
be
lot of time
easy.
you got to chase the apple to the bottom of the barrel when it's just water.
Right. Do you open your eyes when you're bobbing for apples?
Oh yeah. How else are you going to see them?
Do you think any people drown bobbing for apples every year?
Ooh, I doubt that.
You
Unless
just
they're
come
doing
out of
it
there.
on their own accord, they're just like maybe in practice.
Sure.
Maybe in bobbing for apple practice, but not in an actual competition because there's too many bystanders.
Sure, someone would help you out if you were.
Hopefully, yeah.
Jesus, get out of there, Nick. Get
Yeah.
out of it.
3 minutes under the water line.
But
Come on,
you
you
might-
won.
Yeah, we got it. We're not having fun anymore. I think you would potentially drown if you were bobbing for apples in bleach, though.
Ah,
Yeah, I wouldn't be. I mean, it'd be COVID safe. is all I'm
right. I
saying.
don't know if you'd drown, but yeah, you'd have many other problems because
Right.
of that.
Yeah. Well, okay, so we can't bob for apples anymore.
Nope.
But we are able to still enjoy Duvel. Neither of us have had this.
This, so people know, this was what, $17 for a 4-pack at the grocery store.
Yes, it's very expensive.
Which, when you put the ABV out, it would be more like 8 beers for
Yeah.
$17, which is closer to normal pricing on like a 6-pack.
Yeah, and it is a little scary in that
Or sorry, 8-pack.
8-pack. It is a little scary in that regard with like how good this tastes and actually how easy this is going down
Mm.
for it to be 8% alcohol because my brain isn't making that connection. That's one advantage usually with high ABV beers
Mhm.
is that like we said, you could feel it. So you're not really encouraged to drink it quickly. This tastes like just a nice whatever beer you'd get anywhere. It's very smooth. It's very clean. I'm just ripping through this. I'm already well past
Oh,
halfway.
are you? Nice.
Are you feeling the same way or?
I think it's a little. It's not like that smooth for me to drink right now. I guess I don't know what it is. Like, there's definitely a kind of like chewing through it aspect to me. Like, it's not
Wow.
super smooth.
A viscosity.
A hand sanitizer like viscosity. We're talking Purell 60% alcohol by volume
Mm.
with a little aloe vera.
I don't get any of that. It's going down very smooth. And usually Belgian beers are strong enough that like you
Right,
said,
they
have to chew
taste
through it.
boozy. Yeah.
But this does. It's
This
so
one
smooth.
is to me a little bit right now. I think that's
Is
kind of what I'm getting is the booziness is hitting me.
It almost gives you like a little heartburn even.
Mm.
I
noticed a little burpiness across the table here from me.
Oh yeah, the Belgian beers are still giving me burpiness, but it doesn't
Okay.
have the booziness effect
Really?
to me yet. No, I really am enjoying this.
Nice.
I think if you've
I am too.
Hey.
It's not like world changer to me.
Yeah, it's trying to be very simple and smooth, and it's succeeding in that. And I think the advantage is this is like a very popular import in America. So if you're at any kind of grocery store, any Kroger or Albertsons spin-off grocery store out there, you probably can find a Duvel in the beer aisle in one of the kind of fancy imports. And so I would say you should try this one out so far, because you'll be surprised. This is like one that you just walk by all the time. It's kind of in that category of beers.
Yeah, the section it was in too in QFC was not necessarily obvious that like, oh, this is like a premium beer. It was sort of surrounded by shitty,
like Red Stripe and stuff like that.
Yeah. I guess it was just by all the imports. That makes sense. But yeah, this is a nicer beer because Red Stripe is like low cost.
Right.
A lot of those imports are. So yeah, it's worth picking up and trying, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, the branding's good. I really like the flavor, and you can't beat 8% ABV. No doubt. 8.5%. Yeah, you can. Yeah, I don't know. I'm enjoying it quite thoroughly. Did you have did you have any other segments you had in mind, or are we going to wrap this thing up?
We got a parable or terrible segment, Joe.
So now we have actually a couple of options here.
Now,
Should we start with this one?
Oh, were we going to do that as a P or T?
I think so.
Oh,
it's
not
spooky,
going to be
scary.
P.
It might be
It's
P.
going to be T.
I think it could be P.
All right.
So we, in the same grocery store, we picked up a new brand, at least new to me. I've never seen this before.
New to me.
Called Chirps. So Chirps instead of chips. And that's apropos, Nick, finally on the bumper. So this is a Eat Bugs cricket-based chip. So each chip has one cricket in it. And so these are chips made out of crickets.
Placed on top of the chip, the full cricket.
Right.
No, that's not true. It's ground cricket protein is what it says on the thing. The ingredients list shows that it's predominantly corn. So it's ground corn, then cricket protein, then pea flour, then chia seeds, and on and on and on. Now, these are cheddar-flavored cricket chips.
I'll have to take your word on that, because there is no cheddar flavor in that chip that I put in my mouth. And it crumbles. It's way too crumbly. I think there's no kind of there's no integrity, structural integrity to this chip.
Fits in well around here.
Oh, wow. And so, yeah, it falls apart. That said, any notion of, like tasting bugs or anything like that is not true. It's just kind of it just kind of tastes like a stale chip to me.
You're right. The texture is different than most chips. They're not bad, though.
They're not bad, but I wouldn't call them good.
And as we were talking about when we got this, when it comes to chips, like, why not just pack them with shit that's, like, actually healthy for you? Because it's just going to be fried anyway, so you're not really going to be able to tell the difference. So something like this makes sense to me. There's also some companies that are making bean-based chips, which those I think are more close to traditional potato or corn chips.
And you're the big bean-based boy.
The BBB.
Yeah, Quad B is the bean-based boy.
There's some alcohol distribution truck that says BSB huge on it. I biked by it. I wanted to take a picture so bad, but I was not able to stop.
But what would BSB mean?
I can't remember what it is on the actual truck. Of course, BSB is the big skunk boy.
Right,
Brooks
of
Matic,
course.
former commissioner of Coal Cans Nation.
Right, at Brooksmatic. Former is correct as well. What was the latest on that? He was crawling back.
He was supposed to undergo a series of competitions or challenges to see if he was going to be reinstated.
That's right, to prove his merit, and then we just sort of forgot about it.
Right, and as did he.
All right, so the BSB is just
It's
another
gone.
citizen of Cold Cans Nation.
It's
Yeah.
true.
Maybe we should have, similar to the U.S. election, we should have elections in Cold Cans Nation. Where somebody
okay.
can be, there's a ballot for commissioner. I don't know who, it may be Brooks running unopposed.
Sure. Who else would want the
Who'd want it or
slot?
who'd be qualified?
Well, both.
I think you
Hey,
got
I can say
to.
the same about the president of the United States, too.
I'd say the same about the president 8 years ago. But you think I think your brother would both be qualified, and it seems like a
No, that's
post he'd
true.
be interested in.
That's true.
Could we call him?
Should we surprise call him 2 weeks in a row?
Yeah.
No.
Okay,
We
fine.
don't need to surprise call him.
I think those two should run
Okay.
in the 4 or 5 people listening to this podcast could vote which one should be the commissioner. And then
That's the thing. We can't hold a vote because that will reveal how small our listenership is. And then all our sponsorships dry up. Is that what you want?
We've
You
been
want me on the street?
photoshopping our listener numbers for months. Now those are all dried up and Nick's on the street.
Is that what you want, Cold Cans Nation? No, go to coldcanspodcast.com/merch today.
I think if we held an election in 2 weeks' time.
2 weeks?
And we didn't publicly disclose the vote count. So we accepted the votes somehow.
Sure.
We'd see a huge turnout, the likes of which you've never seen.
There's many great people on both sides.
Oh, I've never seen you even attempt a Trump before.
Well, you get enough Belgian golden ale in me, and
Ooh,
I'm
have to
liable
crack a
to do
second
anything.
What?
Golden? What?
I don't even know how you'd start to get to a Trump. I think you have to kind of hit the bridge of your nose. If I hit the bridge of my nose, now I have a little bit of Trump. It's not bad.
That's pretty good.
I think that's maybe the closest way to do it. If the two people running for commissioner, you'd never seen anything like it. He like doesn't breathe through his nose because he's all coke-addled.
And then it's, between every sentence, it's a gasp for air.
Yeah. We shouldn't talk about Trump anymore. Although people should go vote, and if you vote for Donald Trump, you're a fucking lunatic. You've lost your mind.
Joe.
Election's coming up. When people listen to this, it'll be 5 days away, right? Or do I have the math wrong?
Well, this will be the day before Halloween, right? Because Halloween's next Saturday.
Yeah.
So, a little peek behind the curtain. We're recording this the Friday before it's released.
4 or 5 days away, then it'll be. People should vote. But if you're out there, Cold Cans Nation, vote.
Go vote.
Go vote. For Joe Biden specifically. If you're going to vote for Trump, you can stay home.
Imagine a world where you don't have to care about who's in the White House all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to hear about it all the time.
I don't think I could do a Joe Biden impersonation, though.
The fact of the matter is, you just got to say that over and over.
Look, no, that was Obama.
No, he hasn't taken that.
He doesn't have
Barry.
a look. Yeah, that's true. I can't. I've only got the Bernie. I don't know.
He's been doing the exasperated thing. He did that in the last debate pretty well. Because people should be exasperated by Trump's antics and the stuff he constantly brings up. That's just totally false.
Right.
So you just got to be exasperated. Like this guy over here. He's from Brooklyn. Trump was right. He's not from Scranton, Pennsylvania. He's from Brooklyn. Look at this guy over here. We got this fucking wise guy over here.
This fucking wise guy here. That's a good Joe Biden.
Thank you. Thank you. Look, the fact of the matter is...
chirps, eat bugs, terrible.
All right.
We have a second. We have a second.
Have three, actually, if we really want to get into it.
Well, one is part of a subsidiary brand.
Become part of Cold Cans lore. Go to the Cold Cans Instagram account. We have so much engagement on this post already that it's breaking all the records.
Yeah, it's breaking every record. Look, we have Pepperidge Farm Milano pumpkin spice cookies.
Pepper cookies? No, it comes from pepper goes on a pot roast, not a cookie. What is this pepper cookie? I am feeling the alcohol now from the...
I can tell.
And suddenly it's the best beer I've ever had.
Yeah, it's really smooth.
All right,
it's
I
so
get to
good.
eat this one first.
Okay, I'll
you got
talk
to eat
through
the
it.
chips first, Joe.
So I don't know if people ever have stopped in the cookie aisle for Pepperidge Farms. You have to be a loose cannon to do that because there's so many better options. You can get Oreos. You can get... I used to be a fan of Chips Ahoy, but I had it recently, and they're so chalky and bad. As a kid, I thought they were good, but they're bad. But I never get Pepperidge Farms. It's very much a grandma cookie. So we stopped and got the pumpkin spice version. Nick has his assessment in.
So we got the pumpkin spice because, of course, the season. 'Tis the season for pumpkin spice. I told you I wrote in pumpkin spice on my ballot. That's why I'd rather vote for than any of these two jokers.
It doesn't make any sense, Grandpa.
I wrote in pumpkin spice latte, PSL.
This is my grandpa who's like trying to get in to stand up.
The cookie on its own is pretty bad. I think what Joey said is right. The Pepperidge Farm, the entire shelf of Pepperidge Farm was fully stocked. People are not buying Pepperidge Farm, yet they still have a ton of space on that counter or on the shelf, which is insane to me.
It's money laundering.
It could be. Yeah, Pepperidge Farm is a giant money laundering operation.
They have attendants come out to grocery stores and buy up the Pepperidge Farm stuff. They do this for tax write-off purposes, and then they launder money through every purchase.
Something tells me Cold Cans LLC could learn a thing or two from old Pepperidge Farm LLC.
Something tells
it
me
is
we
an
already
independently owned company. It says Pepperidge Farm Incorporated, Norwalk, Connecticut, or probably pronounced like Norrick or something. Like they love to do on the East Coast. It's kind of parable though with the beer.
It was really good with the beer
because we talked about what can we pair with this high ABV, boozy Belgian beer dessert.
And sometimes we have dessert on the show and it's too sweet. This one isn't that sweet. It's subtle enough that like that pumpkin spice reacts with the slight bitterness of Duvel pretty well. This is parable to me too. The second cookie I had here, I actually think the cookie's a little bit better. It's crumbly, but it's not dry somehow.
Oh. Well, there's cream in there.
I know, but I don't think that's enough. I think the cookie itself is crumbly but not dry. Unlike what are those airplane cookies that you like that are bad but you think they're good?
Biscoffs?
Biscoffs, yeah. They're dry, hot garbage. But this thing that was quite nice and paired very well.
Biscoffs are meant to be dunked in your shit coffee that you have on the plane too.
That coffee gets filled with toilet water.
It's boiled.
Don't drink the water on an airplane. Flight attendants around
I mean,
the
what are you
world.
going to do?
What do you mean, what am I going to do?
You're in this little fart tube with everybody. You're just trying to get these little morsels of goodness to get you through the experience. I don't care if it's toilet coffee. Give it to me.
You buy the cheese plate, baby.
Well, yeah, you do that too. You do it all.
And you get the wine. And
you do it all.
Yeah, okay. I think that was surprisingly good. Pepperidge Farms maybe gets an unfair shake.
Parable.
They're probably pissed as hell that we actually bought one. Because they recycle them is what the attendants come. They buy them. They write that off for tax. They money launder. And then they restock the shelves with the same cookies.
If I could tell you what, when the nuclear holocaust finally comes, there's going to be the cockroaches and the Pepperidge Farm cookies that are left. I'll tell you what.
Good job, Grandpa. On my ballot, I wrote pumpkin spice latte. That doesn't make any sense. Why would this angry guy?
Because all his popular knowledge comes from 10 years ago, so he thinks that's still a hot take.
There's people who think making fun of pumpkin spice lattes is still a hot take. That is absolutely in the zeitgeist. What do you think about pumpkin spice? Are you like one of these guys who's like, pumpkin spice, it's bad?
Well, I wrote it in on my ballot. What do you think I think of it, huh?
This guy is also completely insufferable. What do you think of it, huh?
No, pumpkin spice. We talked about this recently. I don't know.
He's like the worst person you could hang out with.
Yeah, he never turns it off. He's only got so many years left. He has to become this character, or he's not going to make it.
So he's rushing a bad character that connected the dots between presidential candidates and pumpkin spice lattes. Two things he ostensibly hates. So he hates both candidates and PSL, but it's better
than those jokers they got up there. I'll tell you what.
Right. Oh man, I don't like that guy at all.
Pumpkin spice. We talked about this recently. I think it's confusing because pumpkin spice would imply that it has some depth of flavor and maybe a little bit of actual spice to it.
Right.
But most things that are made that say pumpkin spice is just a sweet bomb.
Like cinnamon sweet bomb type.
Yeah,
thing.
Exactly. Maybe you get a little cinnamon and then it's sugar.
Right.
Pumpkin spice on its own, like things that are used to spice pumpkin dishes, I like.
Oh my God.
Nutmeg, clove, cinnamon, that
sure,
kind of
yeah,
shit.
yeah. I agree. And I think there's probably some element to that, or at least that's what pumpkin spice started as.
Right.
It is now morphed into some just disgusting.
It was when that Starbucks got a hold of it. Now he's got a lisp. Yeah, he's got a lisp. Sorry.
I don't like his development of a lisp at all.
He was
trying to break through.
Yeah. He's trying to make it.
My God. What would you think about Duvel?
Duvel. I'll tell you what.
Oh no.
I'll tell you what.
And you can see when the gears are turning in his brain when he has nothing to say.
I'll tell you what. This can be the Duvel on my shoulder.
Oh, he's the worst. I hate this new character.
They say the devil's on the shoulder. Well, I'd rather have a Duvel in my gullet.
That's bad. You have such a great knack for coming up with the most awful, insufferable characters.
Funny things. Yeah.
No, not unfunny. Funny, just the worst people you could ever hang out
Sure.
with. Yeah, you're very good at that.
Thank you, Joey. I've really tried over the years to take the real parts of my personality that I can intuit are ugly and bad to be, and then I'm saying there's a funny aspect to that.
It is,
that's what I do. I bring that out. It's the true me that I hide, but then I can bring it out when it's a quote-unquote bit.
So the true you would entertain the idea of entering pumpkin spice latte on your ballot.
I'll tell you what. When I look at those two jokers up there on TV, I says to myself, how about I put this pumpkin spice latte in? How about that? Like, I see, I'm accepting money from Russia.
My wife folded up her newspaper and went to bed when she heard me say it.
We now sleep in separate quote-unquote rooms.
Quote unquote also would make no sense. Oh man, there was a character you had the other day that I really had a healthy distaste for.
Okay.
I think it was somebody who basically it was like I said one thing and then did another thing. So I was like, whatever, I'll make it up. I'll say like I don't like apples, and then I was like grabbing apple slices, and your character, you looked at me and you went, "Oh,
Oh, yeah.
no, he gets the apples."
That's right. This was directly related to, I believe, the those pumpkin-covered pretzel things, right?
Mm.
Was it that? Or no, you always liked those.
I always
You
liked
always
those,
liked
yeah.
those.
There was something like
it
that.
might have been the apple slices.
Oh, it was a
I
nightmare.
watched the Packer game at your place, and Devin set out apples. Oh,
Have a friend.
all of a sudden.
Have a friend sit by you.
Just holding you accountable, Joe.
Yeah.
That's all.
That's
If
what
that
it
makes you uncomfortable, maybe you need to look in the mirror.
If that makes uncomfortable, you're one of the weak libs that we're harvesting. I guess I always go there. I'm
You
always
do.
like a Republican strongman is like my
Sure.
because I'm telling you, this would be such a good way to make money. I mean, not a good way, easy way to make money. That's a better way to put it. Just throw everything out the window. Get into
you always
Republican
talk about
talk
that.
show stuff.
Yeah. You could become a fixture on cable news if
Absolutely.
you become like a right-wing guy, Charlie Kirk type.
Right. I want to be a Charlie Kirk kind
You
of guy.
could.
Bank millions, then do an about face like Glenn Beck did a few years ago, where you're like,
You want to talk about Charlie Kirk's face? Is that what I'm hearing?
no, I don't
I'll
like
tell you about-
Grandpa. I hate you. Glenn Beck did that. He was like,
Right.
I asked for forgiveness, and now he's like back being a shock jockey for
Right.
conservative radio.
Right.
And everybody
But
was
he
ready
wants
to
to
forgive
make it
him.
seem like he's galaxy brain. He's above it all.
Right. That's what I should do.
You should.
And I'll
Just
make
get
money.
a 10-year plan set out where
That's my
it
10-year
starts with you being extremely racist and xenophobic on television.
I don't want to be racist. There's other. I think there's another.
There are
niche
other
I
ways
can
to do
find.
it. Okay.
Yeah, it's owning the libs more than
Gotcha.
actually personifying any of these horrible
Gotcha.
evil values.
So pointing out imagined
Yes.
duplicitness on their part. That's what you're going to be. You're the
So the
gotcha.
libs say this, and guess what, folks? Guess what he just voted for? That kind of thing.
Gotcha. Yeah, you could be. That's Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, I want to be Tucker Carlson. That's my goal.
Okay.
Is to be
You could be
Tucker
Tucker.
Carlson. You think I could be good enough to be
Joe
Tucker?
Glock's a good name.
Ooh,
Drop
yeah.
the E so the NRA like boosts your
Right.
ratings a little bit.
Young Conservatives for America co-chairman Joe Glock joins us on the show.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I said with those two liberal candidates, I'm going to write in pumpkin spice latte. Because that's all the liberals want anyway. You walk around the streets of Seattle and they're walking around with their pumpkin spice lattes.
They complain about the health care costs, but then they see them with a $5 PSL in their hand.
Most of my persona is just on pumpkin spice latte based jokes.
And it kills.
That would kill on like conservative radio. That would do very, very well. What should we review the beer?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. Belgian Golden Ale.
Yep.
Duvel. Bottle conditioned. We didn't even talk about that. That's just some weird branding they've tossed out. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I wish we did know what that meant, but I don't know.
Who could say?
It must be good, otherwise they wouldn't so prominently put it on here. There's a whole thing on their website. Their website's actually pretty well done, which is not true of most beers we look at. But it just talks about the history of it. The malt is important, and the yeast has been like something that they got from Scotland in like the 1800s.
Right.
So they've just kept that going.
Okay. Wow. But the website's good. That's their branding is similarly good. So they're spending some money on, at least their importer is spending money on American branding.
Right. And we read too that this Duvel brewery has purchased other breweries a lot, including Firestone Walker in the U.S., which is probably the most recognizable one.
Got it. Yeah. So they're clearly a powerhouse. They've been around for forever. Their flagship beer, I think, is delicious. It's getting me drunk. You alluded to the fact at the beginning that Beer Advocate is very kind to it. Do you have that score in front of you?
Very kind indeed. Okay, this is 8.5%, as we have said. Notes, a Duvel is still seen as the reference among strong golden ales. Its bouquet is lively and tickles the nose with an element of citrus, which even tends towards grapefruit.
Wow, I didn't get citrus at all.
I did not at all either. And it says, thanks to the use of only the highest quality hop varieties, this is also reflected in the flavor, which is beautifully balanced with a hint of spiciness.
Yeah.
Thanks to its high CO2 content, this beer has a wonderful roundness in the mouth.
Nope.
You can put your roundness.
Nope. Just move on.
Okay. A Duvel
Hint
is
of
both
spiciness. It's probably like those libs walking around with their PSLs.
A Duvel is both the perfect thirst quencher and the ideal aperitif.
Wow.
Aperitif for Pepperidge Farm Milano pumpkin spice.
Duvel and Pepperidge Farm should do a collab.
They should. Let's spearhead this.
And you could buy them together. You'd buy a 6-pack of Duvel and then a thing of Pepperidge Farm.
For free.
And that would
thrown in.
You know how easy it'd be to launder money if you were throwing in Pepperidge Farms into Duvel 6-packs or 4-packs? God, it'd be a killing. That's what we get into. Fuck being
Money
Tucker
laundering?
Carlson. We get into money laundering through Cold Cans Media LLC.
That would be, because then you don't have to sell your soul, like your public persona. You're just
Right.
behind the scenes sort of manipulating things.
Right. Every koozie we sell, you guys pay us $3. We log $3.50 in the books.
This is a joke, of course. This is an
Of course,
entertainment
this
podcast.
is a funny joke.
You'll have to tune into that secret podcast we send out secretly each week with the real stuff.
Right. And we send it out via a MailChimp mailing letter that costs $14.99 to our Patreon subscribers a month. Our
We
money
still haven't gotten that
laundering podcast.
Patreon set up, have we?
No,
we could be millionaires by now.
we haven't done the election for commissioner. We haven't done any live shows.
We're all ideas, guys.
We-
Not much on the execution.
This is why we should be Tucker Carlson. I'm telling you. It's easy to have ideas. We were supposed to do a live show at Henry's Bar in Seattle. We just squandered the piss out of it.
If I do remember correctly, they did not return an email.
No, they emailed us.
But then we messaged them and they
Fremont
didn't return
Brewing
it.
didn't return an email.
Well, that's true, too.
No, I think Henry's Bar was like, yeah,
Oh,
we're
did they?
in.
Okay.
And then we were
Well,
like,
then we
nah,
squandered
we're
it.
scared. Yeah.
Anyway, Duvel has a 95 or world class.
Wow.
On Beer Advocate.
Do we have any Duvel heads? Duvel dingus?
There's one
Duvel-
from Wisconsin I just saw, so I'll read that one.
Oh, that's fun.
It's a negative review.
Wow. Of course.
This is from All of the Cats from Wisconsin. 2.71 out of 5. Had this a long time ago and can't remember a specific rating. Oh, I love that. Had this a long time ago, can't remember a specific rating. Didn't seem that special considering the reviews, discussions about this beer, and high praises. And that's it. 2.71. Can't remember, though.
I
Can't
have
remember.
no
Must
idea.
have been bad.
I have no idea, so I assume it's bad. It is as Wisconsin of a guy as anyone could think of.
That is.
Oh,
We have that mindset
God.
deeply seated in us, right?
I think it's right on the surface, baby. We just assume.
Well,
everything's
yeah. I
bad.
mean, it shows itself all the time, but I'm
Right.
saying it's deeply ingrained in us.
God, what a shame. That's why, again, if we started to be Tucker Carlson and things like this, we could get over that. It'd be therapeutic for us at the cost of millions. Who are brainstormed
actively
in Fox
making
News.
the world worse.
Right.
That's how we could solve our own self-esteem issues.
Their brains are mush anyway. I'm just stirring it
Right.
like a wooden spoon in a big old pot of mashed potatoes.
Look at all this rice.
Jim Backer is who we should
We
be.
could be Jim Backer.
Televangelist Jim Backer.
Be the Christian Tucker Carlson.
There's truly like no more vile a sentence I could think of than I'd like to be the Christian Tucker Carlson.
Oh boy. All right, let's get off.
Let's get off it.
So we're ranking this. Should it be in the rankings? This would be a alternative, I guess.
This is probably my favorite beer we've done on the show in the last like 5 or 6 episodes.
Nice.
I really, really liked it. I thought it was smooth. I didn't get that chewiness that you were talking about.
Well, and like I said, when I was halfway through and getting all blitzed up, it was delicious.
But isn't that great? Like it's
It
really
is. That's why I say I like the expediency of this.
Yeah.
I'm sipping on it for 15 minutes, and then all of a sudden I'm 3 sheets to the wind.
Oh no, he's coming out again.
I'll tell you what.
It's been out for 15 minutes. I'll tell you what, I'm 3 sheets to the wind. I'll tell you, I stared at that ballot long enough that empty line, all of a sudden I wrote down pumpkin spice latte.
And I took that absentee ballot and I threw it straight in the trash because I didn't want there to be any interference with my mail-in ballot.
Grandpa, that's
Fraud!
not even a joke.
There's fraud!
Oh, God, he could be a good sidekick for the Christian Tucker Carlson series.
Right. He's the hype guy.
Yeah.
I get an 8-minute slot at the start of your hour block on Fox News.
I wrote pumpkin spice latte as the
Or
candidate.
sorry, Trump TV at this point. We would get on Trump TV.
Of course, that's what I'm gunning for, is
Right.
head anchor on Trump TV.
Right.
The vice president, pumpkin spice latte is the president. What kind of vice president would we get? Twitch streams?
Well, at least he's updated his references a little bit.
He Googled it.
Even if they don't make any sense.
Right. Okay, Ninja, the video game personality? What is he, vice president
When
of
I
my
was
ballot?
a kid,
Why am I asking you, what is he, vice president of my ballot? I don't know. All right, I have a rip and replace, just a straight up
oh
clean.
my goodness,
It's clean.
clean.
It's clean. And
I got one too.
I'll tell you, usually we reveal at least the tier to see if we're in the same ballpark.
Tear it up.
And I'm cream
Hey,
of the
tear it
crop.
up for me. What about that? It's like tee it up, but tear it up for me.
Tear it up for me.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Do you have like a good bumper to then do
Tear it
the
up.
tier?
Tear it up for me.
Okay, mine is the cream of the crop.
Wow.
Tier 1.
Now that's tier
Beer
1.
tier. The best tier. Nick's burping off Mike.
At least I have the decency to do so.
I didn't burp on Mike.
Oh, give me a break.
I turned my
give me
head.
a break.
I turned my head.
They're very sensitive mics, Joe. They're
know
very
it.
sensitive mics.
I know, it's how I was able to do the Halloween spooky scare. I hope we picked
I think
that
I
intro.
got one. I'll just go bold for it. I'll go bold.
Oh, you're in creme?
I'm in creme de la Oreo creme.
Wow. And you're
Not a dairy product.
now, are you thinking rip and replace, or are you thinking
Yeah, just because I don't remember the one that I want to rip and replace.
you're like that Wisconsin
And
reviewer?
it's also exactly. And it's also European.
I think we have the
If
same
they
one.
don't start paying more into NATO, I swear to God, we're gonna take every European beer off this list.
I'm like, you don't need to
We're
slam the bottle.
exceptional in every sense, except when it comes to protecting the world. Then everyone else needs to pull their fair share. Okay.
Of course. We look out for us, me and mine, baby. I think we have the same thing.
Do we now? Because
I'm-
there are a couple
I know.
European beers in here. So okay.
I'm pretty sure. Let me just keep scrolling through. Now I'm at coldcanspodcast.com/rankings. I'm pretty sure we have the same ranking. All right.
3,
2,
2, 1, 10.
Rataburger, 16. Oh!
I was way higher.
So you were Prima Pills?
Prima Pills. I don't remember that beer. Do you?
Not really. But you were way higher. Rataburger is something that I vaguely remember, but this is like a better... Rataburger is a German Pilsner. It's also something that's somewhat simple, but I'll tell you,
So is Prima Pills.
Yeah. Oh, okay, fair enough. I'm like, I turned my nose up at this point on expensive Pilsners. I don't think the vast majority of people out there, myself included, have the palate to know the like fundamentally taste a difference between a really good Pilsner and like just a mediocre Pilsner. So fuck expensive Pilsners. Now I know you're like a big, I'll pay $150 for a glass of a good Pilsner guy.
No, I'm not. I just like Pilsners and lagers better than ales, so that's typically why I'll get one at a craft brewery. I agree that there's not a great reason to pay a premium for a lager. The whole point is it's a smooth, crisp beer.
Right.
And the adjunct lagers have that down pat. So
Right.
there's no real reason to pay for anything above a Coors Light or a Bud Light.
Yeah.
Or the heavies if you must.
That's kind of my take as well. That said,
But both of those then are expensive Pilsners. Though I
Yeah,
don't think
you're right.
Rotterburger is like an expensive beer. That's not an expensive import, I don't think.
No, that's a little more. Certainly not as much as Duvel here. Prima Pils is fine with me. Are you talking rip and replace number 10, or do we have to move all?
Yeah,
the
no, let's replace. That one's from August of 2018. The description is the best Pilsner yet. The boys
Wow.
try a live feed, which I don't really. I think we did Twitter live feed.
We went
maybe?
on Periscope.
Oh, Periscope. Okay,
Just
which is
another one of
purchased
our
by Twitter.
Failed ideas. Yeah, Twitter is a subsidiary.
And we called Casey apparently, but I don't know if he.
Oh, fuck
picked up.
that guy! All the more reason to rip and replace
No,
this
we
out.
love Casey.
Of course we do.
Boots on the ground still.
Yeah, we haven't heard back from him in a while. It's investigative journalism.
He's deep. Yeah, he's deep undercover at this
Right.
point.
So, okay, we're ripping out number 10. We're replacing it here. This is a fantastic beer, and you warmed
It's
up
good.
to it over time.
It's good. I mean, it's obviously very nice that it's high ABV like that, and then still pretty not sessionable, of course, because it's too high ABV, but very smooth to drink.
Exactly. It's surprising how sessionable it could be, given the punch it packs with ABV. Yeah, it's deserving. A new top 10 beer. Yee! Yee! Yee!